Hello everyone, I'm Mark from Rowan Learning and Development, and this is my colleague next to me, Trish Winters. And what we'd like to chat about really with you is we'd like to talk about employee engagement. We think there are some massive challenges with employee engagement at the best of times. And at the moment, we're probably not in the best of times. But hopefully on Sunday, things will change and we'll start to see some return to what will become normality. Although what that quite looks like, I don't think any of us know yet. So that's a bit what we'd like to do. And I think what we'll do, first of all, shall we share something, Trish, with the audience, with the good people out there on employee engagement and what it actually is. So employee engagement is about, well, how many different things is it based around, Trish, employee engagement? How many different questions do we need to ask people to find out how engaged they are?
Well, we use a tool, Mark, which has 12 different questions. And to be honest, we're talking about this subject today. We've sort of decided a theme of our discussion today, because we realise that, you know, obviously we've been talking about employee engagement for a long time now, before the last couple of months, but actually people are in varying degrees and of situations at the moment, and you know, so we realise that, you know, people are starting to talk about going back to work. People have various different feelings about going back to work, and also some people, you know, may not know anything, may not have had any discussions with their businesses or colleagues. So this image, I've got the word image, really sort of highlights the different stages of how people are, really, how people are feeling. The physiological one at the bottom is the absolute foundation that needs to be there in order for people to be engaged, to feel ready, to feel you know, there's certain things that they need to have in place in order to even want to go to work, Mark.
Yeah, some of you might recognise this because it looks a little bit like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And you'd be right, because what Q12 looks at, which is as Trish said, the survey that we use from Gallup, what Q12 looks at the, I guess what you might say, the various levels, the hierarchy of people at work, how they feel about their job and how they feel about their employer at an emotional level. And what we know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs is it is a hierarchy. So at the level at the bottom there, you see the physiological level, things like nourishment, comfort, health and sleep. Without that, people can't be motivated in their job to want to achieve more. So at the moment, at this time, there might be some questions asked in there around people's comfort and health as examples, their kind of mental health. So when these people are returning to work, it's going to be quite challenging for them to be motivated in what they do.
And then, absolutely. Sorry, Mark.
You carry on, Trish.
No, sorry. Yeah, absolutely. And actually, you know, we have spoken about this this image before, and it's something that we use with our clients on a regular basis. But actually, there are going to be more questions being asked at the moment in relation to this, isn't there, Mark? Because, you know, we talk about our health, we talk about our sleep, we talk about sort of needing certain things in place, you know, food, breaks, you know, a clear start and finish to the day, those types of things. But actually, even more so, it's going to be even more important at the moment, and people are going to be in different stages as to how they feel about their return to work.
Yeah. So even assuming that the physiological level is satisfied, when you move up to people's basic needs, do people know what's expected of them? Well, a lot of people would have done prior to the situation we're in, but when there will soon be people returning to work, that's a whole new issue, because the most likely outcome is that not everyone will be returning to work at the same time. It'll probably be a staggered start. So the question is, do people that are coming back know what is expected of them? We assume they've got the right tools. And the last one, there's a real interesting one. Did they have the opportunity to do their best at work every day? Which is a whole subject on its own that we'll probably cover at a different time. So going up the next levels, we've got teamwork and management support. I think Maslow switches those two round the other way. I think they appear differently in Maslow's hierarchy. And then right at the top, we've got growth. And Maslow's got this great quote thing that he said when he was creating and thinking about what people desire. And he said that what man can be, he must be. And I think that's great to talk about growth right at the top there. He calls it self-actualization. And we all want to progress, and we all want to become the best we can. We don't always know how to do that, but we do all want to become the best we can. So what we thought we'd do is we'd share with you the results of a real Q12 that we did prior to the current situation. So what this shows, it shows a total of 13 questions asked and 13 responses that range from someone's overall satisfaction at the top, right the way down to, do I get the opportunity to learn and grow at the bottom? And what you can see in this particular group, we were quite surprised by this, weren't we, Trish?
Yeah, really surprised.
We thought that this group would be, this organisation, the people in it, would be, well, not as red, really. We thought these people were, on the face of it, feeling great, maybe not great things, but feeling good things about their work. But when we asked them, and it is all anonymous, and it's done online, and it doesn't take that long to do, when we asked them, we found out some, there were some shocks, weren't there, Trish?
Yeah, particularly as a lot of, in fact, the vast majority of people that were in this group have worked for their organisation for several years, haven't they, Mark?
Yeah, they have. They've been there a while, and maybe they're only there because it looks like they're only there because of maybe the convenience of being there, and the other option would be to make a big change, and maybe people don't want to change. So yes, there are some real big shocks. Now this was actually two separate departments. So when we did this, there were actually two different departments, and one of them was actually a little bit better because there was some green. So when you look on the right hand side of the page where you can see the red and the amber, there was some green for one department, but that was weighted down by the other department. It's really good because we can split it as well, and we can look at the two different departments in isolation. So that's a great help if you've got a relatively complex business, or even a simple business where you want to look at two different groups. So as long as there's 4 people in that department that respond, you can break it down to separate departments. So where would we start with this, Trish? What would be a good place to start in looking at improving the situation in this business? What would we do? What would we recommend they do?
Well, it would very much depend, actually, what we were working on. But in relation to this survey, the first few questions are actually related to the sort of the bottom section of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So that's sort of where we would probably concentrate our time on. You know, we can also organize this and look at the lowest questions on a survey, if that's what we wanted to do. But actually, in relation to this, the one of the lowest ones is actually, you know, in the physiological section of that you know, that image. So that's absolutely where we would start. And question one, no, what's
not in physiological. There isn't anything physiological on there.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it's in yeah, because that's an extra one, isn't it? Yeah, the next one up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would start with the know what's expected, and that's actually coincidentally that was low for both departments, wasn't it, Mark?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I think you're right. So if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you need to start as low down as you can. So there isn't anything in here that looks at the physiological level of someone's requirements physiologically. I've got a roof over my head. I can feed myself. I can look after my family. That doesn't appear in here, but it is a prerequisite almost for people having any chance of progressing and being motivated at work. So we'd suggest this business looked at the first three questions. So number one, number two, number three at least, because there are some issues, and what that would probably involve, it would probably involve some training, coaching, and workshops. We'd suggest for that business to do that, and that might be something the business does, or that might be something that we can assist with, and then look at from the perspective of being able to do the job, what materials and equipment aren't there, and that might be an independent workshop where people can actually feel as though they can say what they really feel, because a lot of people can't do that. And we'd suspect, we don't know this for sure, but we suspect in this business people don't feel free to put their hand up and say, what about this, what about that, why haven't I got this, why don't you tell me what I'm supposed to be doing each month or each day. Doesn't seem to be a lot of that based on this. So
it's a good point, Mark, actually, that this is actually a voice, it's a platform for people to share how they feel anonymously, isn't it? And a lot of what we do is actually you know, sitting down with senior members of staff, or with you know, managers, or even higher than that. And actually, you know, sometimes this information can be quite difficult for them to hear, because, you know, for a lot of organizations, they think, well, you know, we've got members of staff that have been here for 10 plus years. They must like it. They must, you know, they must be happy. They must enjoy their work, because no one ever says anything, you know, contrary to my thoughts or opinions. And actually this can be a bit of a blow for some people. So and this organization, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't fed this back yet, because we haven't had the opportunity to speak with the business owners who we'd obviously feed it back to first, because of the current situation. And we're hoping to arrange maybe to do something at a distance initially. But what we'd also want to do, is Trish alluded to, is we'd want to actually show everyone in the business this. We think that, you know, when at least we're acknowledging their feedback then. The fact that they've done it, and this is what everyone said. And I mean, there are some differences. It doesn't go down to individual level, so it's only done at either the overall business level or the independent groups that we set up in the first place, as directed by the business. But there are some challenges in this business, let's put it that way. The good news is, though, is that the business can actually sort most of this out. They won't need to make wholesale changes to people, probably not even equipment. Maybe need to think about the materials and equipment, but they won't need to make wholesale changes. But there will be changes in maybe the way that people interact with each other, communicate, lead and manage. They would probably be the biggest ones looking at what's in there, and it'd be really interesting to work with them. So we're looking forward to it.
We are, and absolutely, you know, if we were to resurvey them, you know, in the next 6 weeks, say, it would be interesting to see what their results were, because, you know, I know what is expected of me at work is incredibly low already, but you know, do they feel that they've got all the materials and equipment to do their job? Do they know what is expected? Do they know what's happening? You know, are they committed to quality? Do they have a chance to discuss things with their senior team, or, you know, whatever? In light of the COVID-19 and the situation, you know, is their best friend returning to work? You know, all of these things, all of these questions that we don't quite yet know the answer to. So it will be interesting to know what these results, you know, future results, you know, are. So yeah,
It'd be really interesting to look at it now as well, because one thing's for sure, it won't be any better. I shouldn't think anyway. So that's what we wanted just to put across, what this is, what it does, how it links to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And then if you want to talk to us about this or about your own business, whether that's now or whether it's in the next few weeks or even later, then please do get in contact with us. And you can do that through our LinkedIn page or through our phone number, which is 0845 163 8819. And we'd be delighted to speak with you. And if we can offer any advice or if we can help in any way, that would be absolutely great.
Mark, why would somebody want to contact us?
Well, they might be wondering in their business, maybe they weren't before, but maybe now they're wondering, when they start to bring people back in, how engaged those people are, because potentially they've been on a 6 or 7 week holiday. A lot of people have been furloughed, and it's like being on holiday because there's nothing to do with work's allowed to go on. So they might want to take a snapshot of what they've got in the business, the people that are there and then, and think about those people and maybe what they can do to improve their engagement, motivation, productivity, and profitability, which we know are all impacted by a lack of engagement.
Absolutely. And things are going to be different. You know, they are going to be different. And, you know, a lot of people's mental health, it has been hugely affected. You know, people have all of a sudden had to be, you know, working from home. They've had to be, you know, potentially in quite different, difficult environments, and actually, you know, some people's financial situations have been hugely affected, and also some people are incredibly worried about the return to work as well, aren't they? So I think, you know, if you are a manager or you are you know, a business owner or whatever, these are absolutely all considerations that you need to be thinking about.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. On behalf of Trish and I, please do give us a call. And take care, keep safe, and we'll see you hopefully in the near future. Thank you. Bye-bye.